Happy set championship day, everybody. Good luck. Good luck, good luck, good luck. Are you going today? Are you going tomorrow? What deck are you playing? How many people are there? Did you win? Did you get a playmat? Was it fun? Any other questions? Without further ado, guys, today we're going to talk about a deck that I think is primed and ready and in a great spot for set championships this time around. And we're going to use Fasa to go take down those scars. The irony of that. When we're talking about a Fasa deck, I think that out of all the options, it really comes down to Steel or Ruby. And I think that Steel actually has the advantage right now, just the utility it brings. The less power cards that are uninkable, I think, also plays a factor in here. A lot of Ruby's really good cards you want to hit off Fasa are high cost and uninkable, whereas in this version, a lot of them are low cost. Your high cost cards are still inkable. So, sorry if I sound out of breath. We did this, and apparently my microphone was not working. So this is take 2. 15 minutes of my life I'll never get back again. Anyway, the deck does come in at a pretty pricey $417, unfortunately, but you already know why. That's because Rapunzel takes up half of that on her own. She's expensive, but she's really, really needed in these decks. Those chapter 1 legendaries can be insane. So, without further ado, though, we are playing 15 uninkable cards, and in our one-drop spot, we were playing 7. We got 4 Cinderellas and 3 Daisy Ducks. Daisy allowing you to get that real aggressive start, and Cinderella giving you some utility to be able to control the board state. In our turn 2 is where we start to get with a little more utility. You have Lilo. Lilo is very nice because that late game, if you start to run out of resources, well, being able to play her from your discard plus whatever card you draw or a card from your hand is just a good way to claw back some advantage and to stay in a game, keep that pressure on your opponent, and potentially take them down. Piglet also very easy to spam out characters in this deck, so that means he's going to be questing for 3 more often than he won't be. Calhoun, you're not necessarily focused on challenging with this deck, but you can. You can, a lot of the time, try to go under the more control-y type decks like Popsicle, but at the same time, you have a lot of good characters that you can trade board state with against the aggressive decks and beat them that way. This deck truly is a mid-range powerhouse in the fact that it can do both of those things. It can try to go under the slow decks, and it can try to just beat down on the faster decks. 2 Calhouns, though, trying to keep our uninkable count no higher than 15, so she was the final card that got the axe. Doc is a little bit more important to keep that card draw, keep that advantage, keep those resources. Plus, hitting a Doc off your Mufasa can feel very clean, especially if you're running low on resources. Let's say they get rid of your Mufasa. You hit a Doc, you get to draw 2 cards, then you draw for turn. All of a sudden, you get a character back, and you have 3 cards in hand to play with. Not a bad trade-off. Smee and Lawrence, well, you already know these cards are focused around damage. When Lawrence doesn't have it, he gets 4 strength. When he does, he's a great target for Rapunzel. Smee damages himself, and some people just let him die off, or they will use something to trade into him strongly when he has the 2 damage. But either way, you have your Rapunzel gifted with healing, who is going to do wonders and works to heal those characters, draw you cards, keep you in the game, and keep things rolling. Sometimes you just don't want to deal with that action card, so that's where Pete, Games Referee, comes in. Probably one of the lesser cards in the deck, but at the same time, he's inkable, so there's really no reason not to play him. Rapunzel, again, she's your draw engine, she's your healing factor, and she just does too much for the deck to ignore, to not play, to disregard. Then we have the man, the myth, the legend, the ghost, the dead guy. Mufasa lives. The king has returned to take down his brother. The irony. The movie's even in theaters. It's almost like the stars are aligning and telling us, go play SteelFasa at set championships, and then go see the movie. Who has seen the movie? I haven't yet. I was going to look into it more, see how kid-friendly it is, or if I would just go by myself. I don't know. We'll see what happens up happening. But then you also have the Gantu. I say both in every video, and no one's pointed it out yet. Gantu. This card getting hit off your Mufasa feels so insanely clean. Let's say you're decently wide, you force the B prep, you have the Mufasa. They B prep you, you Mufasa into a Gantu game over, mic drop, done deal, go to the next one. Because they're not going to have follow-up, which means Gantu's going to quest freely. And then their next turn, what are they going to do? B-prep again? That's the only answer they have for this. As long as you throw down another character, they can't Lady Tremaine it. Because you would just pick your other character, which means he's going to get you 8 lore in that scenario every time. That is insane. Because Sisu does not hit him. Without an ice block, Medusa does not hit him. So again, they need another B prep to really answer it, and at that point, you just force out 2 B preps. You're sitting in a pretty good spot. This card, questing for 4, puts so much pressure on your opponent. It's such a good hit off your Mufasa, and I don't know why I'm not seeing it played more in SteelFasa decks. This card has been the MVP playline. Testing has been going really good for it, and yeah, right here, like the bread and the butter. I was going to try and make a different joke there, too, about the dead and something. I just could not come up with anything about Gantu that rhymed with butter. Kind of a weird one. I am not the real Slim Shady. The real Inkwell Gaming, maybe. Not the real Slim Shady. Can we rhyme Gantu and butter? Nope, not happening. Perdita. Perdita's been actually really spicy and good. She's been a very good dog. Hitting her off Mufasa or just playing her for 6 and then being able to bring back any of your 2-cost characters. Her working very well with Piglet. We've seen that in past formats. Bringing back like Daisy, Lilo, Calhoun if you need to get the board state under control. Smee, also a very good target. Bring back Doc and then draw a couple cards off your dock. It's a great power play. Let's say you're top decking. You have a Mufasa. You can go ahead and swing your Mufasa into something. Or if they take out your Mufasa, you hit a Perdita. Perdita brings back Doc. Doc draws you 2 cards. Just like that, you get 2 characters on board and 2 cards in your hand. Just another potential play line that this deck has. And Perdita has been very, very good to me. The 6 willpower is also nice. 1 strength does leave her vulnerable to pretty much any form of removal. 4 Tinkerbell, 1 Simba. These also help in your versus your go wide style decks, but just being able to deal that damage without having to attack, helping versus evasive threats is a big reason that they're in here. And then the Cinderella Shift. I was going to play Cinderella Shift at 1, Simba at 2 initially, and then I'm like, you know what? What if we put little Cinderella in there with some songs, and we can help control the board state that way, get another draw if your Storm Rage on that way, and it also opens up the Cinderella Shift line if you need to. And she's such a problem to deal with. Like outside of B prep, she's very difficult to remove in one swing. And I mean, Maleficent Dragon. Trying to think what other 7 strength characters are even popular in the format. You would need like Fox plus Crab. You need multiple characters to really answer her cleanly outside of like Maleficent Dragon or Be Prepared. The Resist 2 is just really strong. She quests for 3, really strong. Inkable, really strong. Liking her a lot. And then, like I said, playing the 8 songs just to control the board state, beat down your opponent, help deal with those evasives, draw a couple cards here and there, and you get the extra advantage of Cinderella being a singer to just be able to get them out for on the cheap. Overall, though, one thing, did you notice when we go through the deck, when you're talking about Mufasa and hitting a card that's actually decent, quest for 2, quest for 3, quest for 2, quest for 2, quest for 4, 2, 2. Pete's not a good card. Not to hit off your Mufasa. 2, 2, draws you 2 cards. Kills something and gets 2 lore. Potentially 3, 2, 2. Not the best hit. So outside of like Cinderella, Pete, and kinda Calhoun, every character in your deck is a good hit off of your Mufasa. And looking, like I said, at the stat lines, 4-5, 5-5, 5-7, 4-3, lots of strong stat lines, potentially 4-4, 3-3, 3-3, 3-3, lots of very strong stat lines in the deck to deal with those faster decks and to help go into those longer games versus the slower decks. So I think that this deck is poised and positioned in a very neat spot where you can go under the popsicle decks and then you just beat down on you just beat down on the faster decks. Overall, let me know what you guys think below. What are you planning to play? Maybe you don't want to reveal that yet. What do you like about this deck? What don't you like about this deck other than the price point? But again, literally half of that is just Rapunzel on her own. And let me know down below. And until next time, guys, like, share, subscribe. Lots of big things coming to the channel this coming week, so keep your eye out. Lots of news, lots of things dropping, and I'm really excited for it. Thanks for watching, and take care.